Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for coming back. I have one of the vice presidents, the fourth vice president, Mr. Albert Black, from the great city of Austin, Texas. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm happy to see you again.
Good, good.
We've talked a couple of times about the Boys and Men's Conference. We're in a perfect setting over here with Pilgrim Rest Baptist Church. And we're going to keep our voices up because we recognize that they're in the middle of a conference. People are going and coming. We don't want to interrupt any of that. So just stay with us and we'll keep our voices up. You and I have talked about, let's start here. What was your defining moment as a man? When did you realize that, okay, I have arrived?
It's probably in the last 10 years.
Is that right?
That's right.
The last 10 years.
10
but
years.
You've had a lot of successes leading up to that.
Yes, but you asked me the question,
Right.
when had I arrived?
Right.
It's been in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
And
that's amazing. Because we want our children to know exactly what they want to do when they're 20 and 25.
okay, then what I learned from that age is totally different from what the question that you asked me. You said, when did I arrive as a man, right?
I understand.
Okay.
I understand.
So,
Good answer.
back when I was in the country, which was when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, then when I went off to college, those were things that helped me realize that I needed an education. I was on the plantation, I was on the farm. Really, I went to college to make sure that my family could come off the plantation. So I really went off to school to work, to get an education for my family, to get a place. That was the main goal for me leaving to go to college. But once I discovered the exposure and mentor of all the things that was happening in my life, what I wanted to do, and the exposure, then my whole attitude changed.
And your whole life consequently changed.
Right.
You mentioned mentors. You and I have talked about mentors before. I've had some dialogue with Albert Black from Austin, Texas. And we keep going across the entire spectrum of what this conference means to him and to this city and to your organization. So, going forward, I asked your president the same question. I know you've got a lot of plans because you are vice president. State president.
State president.
Okay, let me get it right. State
Yes,
president.
State president. This is the state that's hosting this convention.
Okay.
We invited our national president to come down. He wants to look at what we're doing in Texas to model it for the entire nation. So that's why we invited him down today. So this is the state convention hosted by Dr. G.D. Clark, who has placed this task with the layman's group for the convention to work with men and boys throughout Texas.
I mentioned that I was going to keep an eye on what was happening because I think the audience is, I think people are interested in what's going on with boys and men. I'll ask you the same question that we've talked about before, about engaging those young men that are not in church. I know you're talking about it, I know we're taking a look at it, but I found you to sort of think outside the box sometimes.
If you went up those stairs today and saw the young men in probably 10 of those classes there, I would say all of them are not involved in church. So what we ask each leader to do, if we can get them on the van, get them to Dallas, get them to see a Pilgrim Rest, get them to see the community, part of a church. So therefore, we're going outside the walls to work on bringing young men, young boys to Christ. But before we bring them to Christ, they got to bring themselves to themselves. Because some of these young boys don't have parents. Some of them don't even know how to get themselves together. So it's really going to take the church to help do some of these things. And it's going to take an Albert Black, a George Clark, and many others to help do what we need to do.
Well, one thing I can say, they're very passionate about their cause, and they are very talkative about what is going on here, and that's good. We're not complaining about that at all.
We're going to put something in action. We don't want to just talk about
But
it.
that's what we want to hear,
Yes,
the action
yes.
portion of that, because we do have a lot of programs, and I cover a lot of programs, but I have to say I have kept up with this particular program over the years, and we want to see what your measurements and what your results are.
And we hope to do that. We hope to have our goals, our measurement, and our plan. We don't want to just talk this. We want to demonstrate what we're doing. You take Reverend Berkeley there.
Hello, Reverend Berkeley.
That's Reverend Berkeley. I didn't know Reverend Berkeley, but I tell you, I got a chance to observe how he was doing those puzzles and those steps to keep those young men's focus on directing them into the path of what they need to do as they grow up.
As they grow up.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Dexter Davis with Albert Black from Austin, Texas.